witnesses to a tale by a master storyteller.
Leave the finding of equipment-enhancing materials to me, Master. I know where we can find useful material. I enjoy tackling fierce foes. Where to next, Arisen? I'm not...
There is a rumor whispered among pawns that I have oft pondered. The gist of it is, when pawns travel beyond the rift, we can contract a peculiar illness that imperils the lives of those around us. At first, we are only restless and excitable, but in time we become so unruly that even the Arisen holds no sway over us.
That sounds most unpleasant. I do hope we shall remain free of it.
Go on, have a look. Gold's made to be spent. Pleasure doing business with you. Go on, have a look. It is quiet.
Moment, son.
A ladder, is it? How convenient.
Need anything? Stop by again soon.
Look as long as you please.
Well, you will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey when treated... to the foremost hospitality in all Vernwood. Much obliged.
This can be a lonely life.
Could have sworn I ought to attend to. All these people tired out.
Might as well take a look while you're here. Eh? Stop by again soon.
There's got to be a way to earn more coin than this.
Am I shedding? Must be.
Need anything? Stop by again soon.
We're in no hurry to leave.
I keep my prices as fair.
What brings you here?
Aye, got some coin to spare your hump. Much appreciated. Gather round, gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story entertain you, nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall tell of a serpent with powers most fell. Our hero ventured into a shrine long enclosed, whereupon he found serpent and soldiers in battle opposed. Though to the soldier's aid he would fain have leapt, unease overtook him, so behind a pillar he crept. And not a moment too soon, for there came a flash of light, ere the room filled with screams, soldiers wailing at their plight. Then the shrine grew deathly still, and our hero was all alone.
Say, well, if you do visit, you might want to give the old man who lives there a wide berth. I hear he sets out to sea on his boat, day after day, only to be returned to shore by the brine again and again. As if that wasn't queer enough, he's apt to talk your ear off about some world he believes lies beyond the sea. I cannot fathom his obsession. I suppose losing... Aught you need of me?
I've heard. See, there's an oracle up in the palace, whose powers allow her to divine whether the Arisen yet lives. There's only one Arisen in the world, so no matter how many pretenders come forth, the oracle can see through their lies. Although, come to think of it, is that really proof? Does the oracle know who the Arisen is, or only that they exist?
Oh, I can't complain, really.
Will nothing exciting ever happen here? What do you want?
Well met, sir. How might I be of service? Do come again.
Mayhap I'll seek out a town and I am well enough, thank you.
Ox carts don't travel at night anymore. Didn't you know that? Monsters are apt to grow.
You don't need to just hide in the back of an ox cart, aye? It works. Now there's a hassle I could do without.
Gather round, gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller.
Well, you will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey when treated to the foremost hospitality in all Vernworth. You know where to find me.
You would have me lead?
I fear I've...
Hi. Faring well. Would you care to join me? I'd not say no to a bit of company. I was hoping you'd say that. Do you know, I had a feeling we'd meet here today. Intuition, I suppose. Say, you're not from round here, are you? Are you a traveler? Have you seen many places? How I envy you. This city is all I know. I long to learn more of the outside world, but Mother won't allow it. She's always telling me how dangerous it is beyond the palace walls. But that only makes me question her judgment. After all, if the world truly is so perilous, what of the lives of our people? They must be fraught with uncertainty, subject to harsh conditions. It seems unfair that I alone should be shielded from that reality. But listen to me waffling on. Ah, I almost forgot. I happened upon this little curio the other day. Here, you're welcome to it if you'd like. My apologies, friend, but I'd best be going. I mustn't let Mother find out I left the palace. Thank you for indulging me. I do hope we'll see each other anon. Till then, farewell.
This lad that can take us to new heights. Perhaps. New discoveries await us above.
Gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my story entertain you,
Come, let me grant you wings.
I'll collect that. You needn't trouble yourself.
Mayhap I really would have been better off a baker.
I've been on my feet all day. My legs are as lame. Yes, make sure the ox is fed.
I can't wait to see what the day holds.
Don't think you're safe just because you're in the city. Monsters. One found its way inside the common. You could say 'twas an ill twist of fortune. I wonder if building a nice, high wall is out of the question.
Even the grave.
Have we purchased all that we require? We ought to review the contents of our packs, just to be sure.
If no one will do it in my stead, then I suppose I have little choice but to obey.
Can't you see I'm on...
We have found a material.
Different combinations of materials result in different creations.
Yes, sir. Have you procured what I asked? Splendid. You've my gratitude. Unfortunately, I can give you little more than that. Forgive me, but I must return to my rounds. Ah, but in place of a reward, mayhap I could give you a tour of the premises. Only if you've the time and inclination, of course. What say you? As servants of the gracious hand, we provide whatever treatment we can to those unfortunate who are stricken by maladies. Yet, at times, 'tis not enough. Perhaps you will recall the parents who were here when you first arrived. An unfortunate pair. They've suffered no few hardships in the slums, and now even their poor son Lubomir has fallen ill. By chance, he was examined by a roaming man claiming to be a doctor. Yet, the family had not the money for the medicine he required. So, he was put into our care. This way, sir. Here he is. This young man is Lubomir. We've been administering the medicine recommended by the doctor who examined him, but he has yet to show any sign of recovery. To be perfectly honest, I doubt the soundness of that so-called doctor's judgment. After all, there is no shortage of ne'er-do-wells out there, willing to claim their medicine the only cure, that they might inflate its price. But I suppose I ought not say such things so openly. At any rate, I'd best continue on my rounds. Pray, stay as long as you wish. Come, come. We've medicine to prepare. We've enough to make a fresh batch now, thanks to a kind donation.
Psst! You there! Help me! Listen, the sisters here are good to us, but I'm growing weaker day by day. It started with a slight fever, and now I can scarce lift myself up. See that empty bed? An old man was lying in it till just a few days past. He told me he was feeling better, that he'd be well enough to leave anon. And now he's... Mayhap I'm just imagining things. I hope that's the case. And yet... Gah... Something isn't right about this place. Pray, should you hear any queer rumors about the Gracious Hand, come tell me of them, won't you? I'd see to it myself, but I can hardly move.
Pray, keep your voice low.
I fear I've much to attend to. I spend my days in quiet reflect.
Got any good stories to share?
Each of our patients deserves our full attention.
I'll get you for that.
Might you be a friend of Lubomir's? He's seen better days, hasn't he? There has been talk of sending him down to the basement, should his condition fail to improve. That is, the basement sick room, where our most critical patients convalesce under the abbess's care. None of the other sisters are permitted entry, including myself. Teles. She gives the patients a special medicine. I know not what kind. At times I hear strange cries and moans drift up from below. Which is to be expected. Those who come here suffer all manner of afflictions, you see. And yet, a part of me is afeared for them.
I'll slit your bleeding throat.
What should I do? What to do? Hoy, arisen! Say, have you heard about the state of the river? Do you know the river close by the church? Well, it's come to be full of muck and filth and all sorts. That's a problem for the church, as it draws from the river to make holy water. The water's so filthy that it's going to take twice the amount of gold ore to purify it. I was thinking you could help the priests by finding some gold ore. After all, it wouldn't be good for anyone if the church ran out of holy water. I was hoping I'll help too. I'll look for gold ore every place I can think of.
Now we see.
Hoy, arisen! Have you found any gold ore yet? That's all right.
Aye, sir.
Anything could be looked. You're gonna regret that.
I could go on an adventure.
Let me get that.
Come over, you Arisen. Excellent. Just what I was hoping for.
Isn't there anything to do round here? This place now.
'Tis good to see you are well.
May the heavens look kind.
So, a none save the abbess can enter? If the gracious hand has a secret, 'tis the abbess who keeps it, I reckon. You've done this much for me. Would you be willing to go further? I must find out what goes on down there. You've my thanks. I just can't stomach the thought of lying here not knowing. Of course, all the better should your search come to naught. But if you do find aught amiss down in that basement, it must be the abbess's doing. Should you find evidence fit to implicate her, will you help me see to it that justice is carried out? See, I've already reported my suspicions to the Sentinels, and we've arranged a signal. If you apprehend the abbess, they'll know to come and arrest her. So I beg you, sir, find the evidence you need, if it exists to be found.
What about this reeks of a plot? Let us gather evidence that we might expose it.
Perhaps you've a moment to spare, an ear to lend.
I know not why, but the words basement sick room set my hair on end. Shall we
'Tis good to see you are well.
Was I lacking in devotion?
Bit quiet, but I like it here. My prayers will surely...
Might I beg but a moment of... Beg pardon, sir, but this room is where our most severe cases convalesce. I must ask you not to disturb them. For your...
Did you want something? I've somewhere to be. What do you think?
If you wish it, I shall not move from this spot.
Quiet. But I like it.
Only through prayer can I... You're gonna regret that.
I shall take this opportunity to observe our surroundings.
Always a fresh breeze blowing round.
What teachings might salve the people's woes?
Greetings.
What troubles?
I know not why, but the words basement, sick room set my hair on end. Shall we investigate? Not a bad idea.
Maybe I'll keep right here.
Must have taken a road.
This is it then. This is where it ends.
They're all watching me. I swear it.
Dead on my feet.
Looks like my luck's run out.
Maybe I'll keep right here. Is that blood?
I do hope naught befalls Lubomir. I do the same.
Consarn it all!
A short jaunt can quickly...
I can't solve all your problems, you know.
This is a poor remuneration for our efforts, I must say.
It's a dismal feeling to be disappointed so utterly. An appropriate choice arisen. I'll gladly take the lead.
How might we enter the basement sick room?
Not a bad idea.
I'll collect that. You needn't...
Who are you supposed to be? You impudent little... I'll not stick my head where it will get cut off. So sad. This is bad. Everyone's as tired as I am, seems like.
To charge ahead may be to rush headlong into danger. Let us take care to move as one.
Be sure to keep your wits about you.
I shall be glad to assist you, Arisen.
I'm surrounded by whingers on all sides.
Be on your guard. There are innumerable corners where an enemy might conceal themselves here.
Keep your voice low, lest my heart leap from my throat. I know not why, but the words basement sick room set my hair on end. Shall we investigate? Not a bad idea.
suppose there can be no harm in bringing this along.
We'll find a use for it, I'm sure.
A profitable endeavor. Keep your ears pricked. Our foes might betray themselves with the slightest sound.
Pray, speak up should you notice or to miss.
I do hope not.
What manner of sin earned me this? Clean away this place. Nothing ever seems to happen round.
I have noticed that the abbess goes out every night without fail. Perhaps you could wait.
I won't.
If that is what you wish, Arisen, I'll go on ahead.
Medicine? Medicine! 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 Now! Now! Now!
I know not why, but the words basement sick room set my hair on end. Shall we investigate? Aptly said.
Oh, someone help me. Jahan? Bruno, where have you gone? Oh. Oh.
Mayhap 'twould serve us well to track down the former patients mentioned in these records of treatment.
I suppose 'tis so. I've heard some interesting tidings about town. If you refer to changes in the military's makeup, I've heard the same.
Indeed. Tellers, there's been a shift in the chain of command.
Methinks we've earned a brief repose. Speak your will, and I'll see it. Leave the finding of equipment in... What about this reeks of a plot? Let us gather evidence.
Oh, some...
True faith must come.
You would have me lead. Consider it done.
Pray, keep your voice low.
Yeah? What it...
Might I beg but a moment of your time?
You're back. Pray, tell me, have you found anything? These look like Johann and Bruno. I know these two. They left here not long ago, fit as a pair of fiddles. I recall them being especially meek to the abbess. Mayhap that's what got them out safely. At any rate, they may know aught of use. Loath as I am to ask more of you, perhaps you would speak to them? You're back. Pray, tell me, what? You found... I don't like the sound of that. Do you think... Could I trouble you to look into this as well? Mayhap you could show it to the doctor I saw before coming here. Radcliffe, his name was. He's staying in the rest town. Pray, sir, do what you can. I must know.
Methinks we would do well to bring this medicine to Sir Radcliffe, the doctor over in the rest town.
You're back. Pray, tell me, I have noticed that the abbess goes out.
I end up feeling weary even after a day of rest. Let me alone. I'm not out here for fun, you know.
By your command, Arisen.
Well met. I assume you'll be starting off with a mug of the good stuff. Keep those orders coming. This fearsome world...
Whatever it is, I'll have...
Elena. Ah, yes. The abbess of the Gracious Hand. A fine woman by all accounts. I was in her care once myself. But I must admit, I've always felt there's something off about her. You see, I was only a little under the weather when I entered her care. But then I started getting sicker and sicker till I was certain death would come for me. In the end, I survived, but methinks I was one of the lucky few. So many died down there, and once I saw her, the abbess, meeting with a strange man. She handed him a large parcel, all wrapped up, and he gave her something small in return. You'd think 'twere medicine, but I'd not have bought medicine from a man like they were whispering. But I did hear one of them say aught about keeping quiet. 'Tis well suspicious, eh? Where'd they meet? 'Twas in the square in the eastern part of the common quarter, and always a night.
One day, I'm going to...
It's so dull when there's nothing doing.
Lady Eleanor's a goodly person, a saint-like. I wavered between life and death for quite some time in that basement sick room, and she watched o'er me through it all, bless her. Can't say as I miss that basement, mind. 'Tis an eerie place. Suppose 'tis only to be expected, given the state of those assembled. I'm sure I will.
Am I expected to pick that up? If I must.
I've no time to be social. I've too much to do.
Reckon I'd spend my life here if I could. Everyone's busy with their own affairs. Suppose I...
Quit acting so chummy.
Everyone's busy with their own affairs. Glory to tell of rowdy time for an early supper.
It's just another way to save your own skin.
This job better be worth
This is a conundrum.
bloody early.
Only care I have is how to spend the day.
Wonder if there's any easy work to be had. There's no easy thing.
Can't work as late as I used to anymore.
If our destination is a distant one, travel by ox cart might be worth considering.
This ain't my problem.
Get the bag of contemplation.
These old bones grow weary.
A chance to put my feet up is as welcome as fine ale.
Tell is, then that's why they've been holding all these fancy masquerades. I've got to wonder what comfort ale and dance. But I suppose I'm just jealous. Imagine having naught better to do than drink and revel the night away.
You're wasting your time talking to...
I swear I've not blinked once in the last hour.
So tight. I kept just about anywhere.
Here.
Aye, this is plenty. Lord Phasus is like to be in your debt. Nicely done. Suppose it can't have been easy to procure this much so quickly.
You suppose wrong. I command their full faith. 'Tis simple for me to extract what I require.
Ha! You're a fearsome one. Here's hoping I ne'er end up in your care.
Enough. I gave you yours, now you give me mine. I'd not be seen here with you.
Ah, of course. Wouldn't want to hurt the Lady Saint's image in the eyes of the common folk, would we? Here's your special medicine.
Glad we understand each other. Till next time.
Aye, be seeing you.
This is not the first we've heard of Lord Phasus. What could his aim be, I wonder?
How very peculiar.
Chaos in the world begins with chaos of the mind. Chaos in the world.
Pleasant breeze.
Just about had it. Like this. Wonder if there's any easy work to be had. I'm done for, aren't I?
To each their own. The world's better for it.
What was it I had planned for tomorrow?
Making a living as a soldier.
Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
After you, Arisen.
Can't make a living if I get myself injured. Wish I didn't have to work to earn my bread.
I'm in fine.
There's got to be something fun to do.
Oh dear. What hail, friend? Have you a spare moment? I've an eye for people, and my instincts tell me you're of trustworthy ilk. I'm in a bit of a quandary, you see. I'm to be gone for a week, with no one slated to mind the house in my stead. Fear not, I only ask your name to list as a tenant. You needn't bother yourself with the cleaning, and I don't expect you to stay cooped up in there neither. I'd be much obliged if you'd simply consider my home a waypoint on your travels. Sound appealing? Then come on by and have a look-see. I've taken the liberty of marking the location on your map.
Not a care in the world.
Well met, sir.
Suppose I'd best earn my keep.
Where are you off to?
Look, Master. A treasure chest. We shall have to find a way to reach it.
Well met, son. How am I to be of service? Let's spoil my equipment. Follow the shots. No. Oh, best to
All this worrying about my legs is back.
Fancy a look at my wares? Well met, son. How am I to be of service? Fancy a look at my wares?
Somehow my feet always carry me. Howdy.
Fancy a look at my wares?
With a fairy stone in hand, we can travel wheresoever we please.
We must save it for a time of dire need.
A chance to put my feet up is as welcome as fine ale.
At last! A chance to use this. Seems there's no room for argument here. I shall obey, but I won't pretend I'm happy about it.
My troubles clean oasis place.
I'd fain trade places with just about anyone.
The state of things makes my lot rather difficult.
Can't work as late as I used to anymore.
Now I have to go to market on top of what else?
Best tales come from travellers at the end.
Suppose that's enough.
Lots to do. How precious.
There's a ladder here.
Perhaps new discoveries await us above.
My legs can bear none from walking about town.
There's naught I love more.
Surely we can draw a larger crowd than that.
I know every place here. You've come. Glad to see you, friend. So, what say you? Would you care to live here in my absence? As I've said, you needn't worry about tending to the place. Many thanks, friend. I knew I could count on you. I'll stop by again in a week's time, but till then, farewell.
I'm all for camping, but solid walls are a joy that can't be beat. And ours for a full week at no charge. What a steal. There's no great shock to me.
Seems naught ever goes right.
Even I know when to shut my trap.
Ah, how I've longed to embrace my bedroll. You'll not believe the journey I've had. I'll wager my horizons are broader than ever.
Good morrow, everyone.
Off we go then. I hope you slept well.
Sir, how can I be of assistance?
Wonder if there's any...
Gather round, gather round.
Oh, what does this say?
It couldn't hurt to take a peek.
Say, whatever it is, I'll have to hear it another time.
What a bizarre village that was. I'm still not sure what to make of it. The villagers stared at me with a bizarre intensity. Though surely I'm as plain as they come. 'Twas as though they were praising me somehow. The very memory sends chills up my spine. I shan't soon return.
That looks promising.
Can't say
What brings you here?
Good day, sir. What might you be looking for?
An ox cart ought to make our journey easier.
One hopes these carts offer comfort commensurate to their costs.
This ox cart's bound for the checkpoint rest town. I'll need to see some coin before I let you on.
I'm still waiting on that report.
Lost track of time. This place is too comfortable.
Wish the roads were safer.
I've got to focus. The shift's only just begun. I must.
Haven't got any extreme.
Not at the expense of my duty.
Oi, you there! You've just arrived in town, haven't you? I don't mean to pry, only it's my grandson, a boy by the name of
Morris! I've just found out Roger's been abducted by beasts.
What? No! How can that be?
I've just heard news. Rod was seen being dragged off by wolves.
Oh, my poor boy. We must go rescue him at once.
Morris, think what you're saying, friend. We can't go charging off after the lad. We are no match for such creatures.
Do you truly expect me to do naught but twiddle my thumbs when my only grandson's been taken from me? The soldiers won't do aught for him, will they now? Consarn it all. He's right. But what else am I to do? If I do not hasten to the poor lad's aid, who will? Do you truly mean that, sir? If you return him to me, I will be forever in your debt, stranger.
Who might have the answers we need? Should we ask around?
Have you come from Vernworth? The ancient battleground to the north is overrun with hordes of fell beasts. and so little are survivors anticipated that you'll find not even a checkpoint here. In times past, 'twas safe enough a night, when the monsters sleep, but no longer. Since a few days past, skeletons and phantoms have made this their nightly battleground. 'Tis nigh impassable now. It could be that aught's befallen the cenotaph. I'd heard the spirits had calmed somewhat since 'twas erected. Say, if I cannot dissuade you from traversing the ancient battleground, would you consider passing by the cenotaph and making sure aught's aright with it? Could it be aught's befallen the cenotaph? I'd heard the spirits had calmed some. If I cannot dissuade you from press.
Where? There's always demand for weapons, particularly near the border, where quarrels occur every other day. If I lose my next shipment to bandits, I'm done for. Always a pleasure.
Greetings. Tell me, in your comings and goings, did you happen to encounter a man by the name of Offulv? He seems to have vanished while in possession of a treasure known as the Jadeite Orb. My fellow merchants are scouring the city for him as we speak, and if I may be candid, our primary concern is an item of precious importance to myself and my partners, you see. I must see it reclaimed, post-haste, and in my hour of need, who should wander by but the good Arisen? What say you, sir? Would you be so kind as to seek out the Jadeite Orb on my behalf? You will be rewarded handsomely for your
Jadeite Orb could be anywhere now. Perchance we ought to speak with someone who has experience in banditry.
Got some business with me, do ye?
I got nothing for ye.
Let me alone, will ye? I'm a busy woman.
Would you be so larcenous deeds are the ken of bandits?
Speak to me another time. I'm on duty.
What do you think you're doing in here?
I only work when I fancy, but I get by.
Let me alone. What do you want? I've not got food atwixt my teeth, had I?
asking for it.
They learned by now not to creep up on
And
me.
Mary are trying to show for
Going dark. There are quite a few. Strange that, considering some say Vermund was a beast-ridden kingdom in bygone days.
not working.
These really are hidden in the most unlikely places, aren't they? At least all our efforts weren't for naught. Ah! I'll have to remember to tell my own master about this.
Welcome, sir, after all. 'Tis folly to linger on a single vocation when there are so many exciting methods of combat to be tried. How goes the collection? Made any progress? Do come again. Fancy a look at my wares?
None of us is guaranteed tomorrow. It's just life.
Whatever am I to do?
What brings you here?
Can't say I've any tidings to share.
Greetings, sir, and welcome to the Sword and Staff. We see a great many customers given our location, so you'll have to forgive us if the ale runs dry. The Sword and Staff is open for business. The Sword and Staff is open for business.
Go on, have a look.
Now here's a welcome sight.
Now, where was I bound again?
Aye, I met Roger by the cenotaph, on the eastern side of town. He had what looked like a bundle of grass with him, only he was carrying it as though 'twere of the greatest import. When I asked what he was doing with it, he would say no more than 'twas a secret. So I told him to get home safe, and we parted. Yet no sooner had I turned my back than I heard him scream. I charged to his aid, but a wolf was already scarpering with him and its jewels. Poor lad. His cries haunt me even now. Pray help him if you can, sir. He deserves a better fate than...
Can't leave my post, I'm afraid.
Let me alone, will ye? I'm a busy woman.
Could it be aught befallen the cenotaph? I'd heard this. If I cannot dissuade you from pressing onward,
The hours seem to fly when I'm here.
There's not,
I've not an inkling of what to do.
I'm a tad busy at the moment.
Is this place bereft of beasts and brigands both? I cannot help but ache for a scrap.
Should you wisp clearing the high roads of such obstructions falls under the military's purview, you see.
You'll never believe this, but the other day, I saw an elven woman and a dwarven man walk. Normally, you put an elf and a dwarf in the same room and they'll be trading blows before you can blink. Mayhap my eyes deceived me.
The flowers that bloom around here glow come nightfall. From what I can glean, the petals absorb the sun's light by day and release it after. Isn't that unusual?
Say, you wouldn't happen to have seen a pretty stone lying about, would you? One befitting the name the Jadeite Orb. 'Twas stolen from me while I was delivering it, and if Master Everard should find out, he'd wring my neck. 'Tis no exaggeration. He's had people killed afore, more than a few at that. To be quite truthful, I'd intended to sell off the Jadeite Orb and quit this place for good. Working under a man such as him, I'd only get chewed up till he decided to spit me out. That jewel was my last hope. Now it's gone. Unless you were to find it for me. Would you, sir?
It seems this Jadeite orb is in high demand. 2 people have asked us to find it now, but only one of them can have it. The right to decide is yours alone, Master.